So we get down to it. I mean, again, if there's any goalkeeping fans in there, then obviously make sure you join in. Obviously, for me, it's not going to be the most enjoyable one, I must say, but um, obviously we have to get through it. Going through the whole 11. So guys, yeah, if you checked out obviously my previous content, I've done central midfield, centre back, number 10s, left midfielders or left wingers or attacking midfielder lefts. The same on the other side. I've done right backs. Yesterday we done left backs, and now we move on to goalkeepers, and then finally tomorrow we're going to be doing the strikers. So yeah, guys, if you have checked the content out, then as I said, big up for checking it out. As I said, guys, I just reached 900 yesterday, so I appreciate the support. And as I said, if you've got any questions, make sure you put that in the live chat. And again, if you're a wrestling fan, if you're a UFC fan, if you're a boxing fan, again, make sure you put your comments in the live chat. And again, once the stream finishes, if you put that put your comments in after as well. And as I said, make sure you subscribe and smash that like button. Obviously, help support the channel. So, as I said, we're going to be on to goalkeepers. Um, I think from the present keepers in the Premier League era, um, I've got two. You know, one of them might be questionable, but I think it was good putting him in there. And then I've got another one that's an outsider, um, which I'll go on to. So first, goalkeeper. So again, who's the best goalkeeper of the Premier League era? So we have Liverpool's Allisson, obviously formerly of Roma as well. For me, Allisson at the moment now is arguably the best goalkeeper in the world. I think there is you've got either Allisson or Thibaut Courtois. I would say. I do like to Stegen as well, but obviously he's out injured for Barcelona. Um, and there might be a few others as well. But for me, Alisson definitely is one of the best keepers in the world. And for me, he definitely deserves his place in this list. I think with Alisson, again, he's been instrumental along with the likes of a Van Dijk, a Salah, you know, um, especially in terms of Liverpool winning league title, and especially this season as well. He's going to play his part, and obviously Champions Leagues is one as well. So for me, Alisson, great shot stopper, just like many other keepers. Really, I think all the keepers, especially in the Premier League, are decent shot stoppers. I think what sets the very best apart is the concentration level. Where if they're quiet for the whole game, can they be relied upon to make that crucial save to get their team 3 points, or to keep their team in the game. And I think that's what someone like Alisson does very well. With the ball at his feet, obviously, as we know, the modern goalkeeper now needs to be good with their feet. I don't think Alisson's the best. When I say the best, I think there is better out there than him, but he isn't the worst, and again, he isn't the best. But I think for sure he's someone that, in terms of his distribution, he's shot stopping, the command of his area as well. I think he displays all that. And again, he's someone that is very composed as well. And I think the main thing for a goalkeeper is instilling a confidence in your defense. And someone like Alisson, for me, Brazilian international as well. He's someone for me that definitely deserves to be regarded as one of the best goalkeepers of the Premier League era. Whether he makes it to my number one, um, I'm not too sure. Because it is a tough number one, a tough spot to be number one, because there is some very good keepers on this list. But yeah, for sure, Alisson for me, again, best goalkeeper currently in the Premiership, and again, definitely for me in the top two as the best goalkeepers in the world right now. Moving on, so I've put him in there. Arsenal's David Raya. Seaman. If anyone remembers David Seaman, if you're an older Arsenal fan, David Seaman with the ponytail. You know, um, I think he definitely deserves a shout in here. Again, part of the a team that contained the likes of Tony Adams, a Sol Campbell, um, Ashley Cole. I think coming through as well was in there. Um, Again, as I said, David Seaman was a very good shot stopper for me. Had a big personality as well in terms of a goalkeeper. Was England's number one for a few years as well. And again, he was someone that was reliable in between the sticks. So if you look at Arsenal's back five, you would say, including David Seaman, they had Lee Dixon at right back, Nigel Winterburn at left back, and then the two centre backs were Tony Adams, the captain, and next to him was Steve Bold, I think it might have been back in the day, or yeah, I think it was Steve Bold back in the day, or it might have been some another defender. I can't remember his name. Was it Linigan? But yeah, David Seaman. Yeah, he was again he was someone that was a key player for Arsenal. As I said, he was very reliable at the back. Again, it was an era where you didn't really need to be too good with your feet. But obviously, a lot of the keepers there, a lot of it was concentration, command of the area. Obviously being a leader, being talking to your back four. Letting them know if there's a player on the shoulder, etc. And again having a big personality in goal. And as I said, David Seaman for me, in that era of football, he was one of the better goalkeepers in the Premier League for sure. And again, someone that um, I don't think he was the best in terms of the number one goalkeeper in the Premier League era, but I think in terms of what he's given to Arsenal, he definitely has to be in there. And obviously, um, a one club man as well. So, and again, I think David Seaman, what did he win? I think he won a couple of Premier League titles as well, a couple of FA Cups and that as well with Arsenal. So yeah, it definitely deserves to be in there. And obviously, someone that took over from him really, and that's German international Jens Lehmann. I think when Jens Lehmann first came, I think he come from Borussia Dortmund, if I believe, and I think Jens Lehmann were coming for a lot of criticism. I think when he first came to Arsenal, and then I think again Jens Lehmann was part of the invincible team as well in goal. And I think what stood out for me with Jens Lehmann was his again his personality. And I think as a keeper, you need to have a big personality in terms of being able to put it on your teammates if they ain't doing the job. Again, having a command of your area plays a big part in that. Talking, as well, and just being being a presence really. And I think Jens Lehmann, he was someone that I think he went under the radar a bit for a lot of people in terms of how good he was. So I think if you look at Arsenal's crop of keepers that they've had since him, there's not been one that's been better than him really. And they've had quite a few. Um, but I think yeah, Jens Lehmann again in that era, being a ball playing goalkeeper wasn't really a necessity, I would say. But in terms of again being part of the invincible team, you know, going through the whole season with being unbeaten, and he was in goal for that. I think for sure he has to be put in there purely because of that as well. So, but yeah, Jens Lehmann, man, he was a very good keeper, and again, I think he was very underrated as well. So I've got him in there. Next on the list, um, left-footed goalkeeper. Again, I do like left-footed goalkeepers because they are quite rare. But for me, Petr Cech. I remember Petr Cech when he first came in to Chelsea. Obviously, Chelsea bought him from Rennes in France, and obviously, I think Petr Cech again was one of the very first signings. Um, was very one of the very first signings in the Jose Mourinho, Roman Abramovich era, and I think that with Petr Cech again, tall keeper, commanded the area, and for me, definitely one of the best goalkeepers to play in the Premiership. You know, I think his shot stop was another level. Concentration was very good as well, and he was part of the Chelsea team that had major success. You know, obviously, again, just like the Arsenal back five that I mentioned, this is a back five at Chelsea where he had Petr Cech in goal, John Terry and Ricardo Carvalho centre backs, Ashley Cole at left back, and then the right back was Branislav Ivanovic. You know, and to have obviously a Makaleli in front of that as well. You know, there's no reason, there's no surprise why that defense was very rarely breached. You know, and Petr Cech played a massive part in that. And again, his relationship that he had with the centre backs as well was key. Obviously, he suffered that bad injury, which meant he had to wear the protective um, head cap thing. But again, yeah, he was someone that was a massive game changer for Chelsea. Um, so yeah, he thoroughly deserves his place in this list. And again, multiple time Champions League winner. Um, he won Champions League as well. Yeah, he won it. He won it because obviously he was part of the team, I believe, with Drogba in there when Drogba scored the winning penalty against Bayern Munich. So yeah, Petr Cech in terms of what he's done at Chelsea, he's done everything really. League title winner, Champions League winner. You know, I think he won most clean sheets as well. You know, and again, I would go as far as saying not only is he one of the best goalkeepers to play in the Premiership, he's arguably Chelsea's best ever goalkeeper. You know, and I don't think you get many Chelsea fans that will disagree with that. So yeah, I think for sure he definitely goes down as one of the best goalkeepers. Chelsea, well, the best goalkeeper Chelsea have ever had, and one of the best goalkeepers of the Premier League era for sure. So yeah, and then next one up, Thibaut Courtois. I think Courtois is in here. You know, again, some people might point to the fact of longevity because obviously now he's at Real Madrid, but I think especially now, I think Thibaut Courtois, he's one of the best goalkeepers of his generation, if not the best, I would say. Um, Obviously, he was signed from Genk in Belgium. Um, I believe he got signed. I want to say I think he got signed as a 19-year-old. I want to say, and how good Thibaut Courtois was is that they loaned him to Atletico Madrid, Chelsea, because obviously Petr Cech was still there, and Thibaut Courtois was someone that Chelsea had to get him very quickly because there was going to be suitors for him. But it was a case where they loaned him again to a massive club in Spain in Atletico Madrid, where Thibaut Courtois took over actually from David De Gea, I believe. I think David De Gea it was either David De Gea come to Man United and Thibaut Courtois went to Atletico as the replacement, or it was the other way around. I can't remember. But he was there for 2 seasons, and again, you could already see that Thibaut Courtois was just one of the best goalkeepers in the world already. And Chelsea done some good business in getting him in, and obviously letting Petr Cech obviously see his career at Chelsea. And then when Cech was done, obviously Courtois was brought back in, and then at Chelsea again was pivotal in their league title success. And he only spent, I think Courtois was there for what 3 or 4 seasons. He was obviously again, it was a major part of Chelsea's success in that time as well. And then went on to Real Madrid bought him. I believe Real Madrid got him on a free transfer as well. And I believe it's a free transfer. Yeah. So I think the fact that Real Madrid seem to be doing this as well all the time just speaks volumes for their recruitment really. And to get someone like a Thibaut Courtois again, who with Allisson for me are the two best keepers in the world. Um, yeah, I think it's a great bit of business. And Courtois for me, man, he's an keeper. To be fair, he's again left-footed goalkeeper. You know, very good shot stopper. Again, he's come through the era of a modern day goalkeeper being good with their feet. So he's just about got him. Well, he's just about arrived in that era. I would say. I think if you look at a lot of the goalkeepers now, the majority of them have to be good with their feet. And I think Courtois come in at a prime time for that. And as you can see with his feet, again, I wouldn't say he's the greatest, but he's very good. As well as being a great shot stopper. And having a great command of his box. And again, another player that's won Champions League. I think the Champions League that Real Madrid won, I think he was actually injured, wasn't he? But um, I'm pretty sure he's won Champions League with Real Madrid anyway. And again, like the team he's in now, you'd expect them to again be the favourites for the Champions League this season. And he's going to play a massive part in that as well. So yeah, definitely he deserves his place in there. Um, Next on this list, another left-footed keeper, and that's Ederson. I think in terms of ball playing, in terms of um, ability as a goalkeeper with his feet, he's the best in the list, and probably by a mile. And Ederson again is someone that played on pitch, played as a left back, I believe. Obviously, was bought from Benfica. And in terms of his distribution, his ball playing at the back, he is probably. I'll go as far as saying he's probably the best goalkeeper. Um, I'll put him and Testegen, Marc-Andre Testegen, um, as the top two, I would say, and probably Andre Onana as well. I'd probably put in there as well as the top three keepers in terms of being so comfortable with the ball at their feet and distribution in terms of the longer passing. I know he's for me he's better than Onana at his longer passing. Um, but he's that comfortable on the ball, Ederson. As I said, a lot of Man City's attacks start from him, and again, he's the best by a mile in terms of quality, distribution, and ball at his feet on this list. In terms of shot stopping, he might be one of the weakest on this list, I would say, because in terms of shot stopping, again, he isn't the greatest. There's been some times where you'd think there's sometimes he should have saved a lot of shots that come straight at him. There is sometimes where he has made some great saves, some great reaction saves. And that's a big part of a goalkeeper's game. Reactions. Um, but I think, yeah, I do think he's purely in there because of the success that he has had with Man City. He has to really be in there because Man City's most successful period, he was in goal for them, and what I mean, he played his part. Even though I do think shot stopping, there is a bit of a concern at times with him. I think there's no doubt in terms of the way Man City play, especially from the back. He starts a lot of attacks, and he's someone for sure that has to be regarded in this list as one of the best goalkeepers of the Premier League era. Um, Moving on, obviously, last three keepers. We're going to start with David De Gea. Um, David De Gea again was bought from Atletico Madrid, at a young age. And again, if anyone remembers David De Gea when he first came in, it looked like he was going to be a poor bit of business because, he was very, very skinny. Didn't really, obviously, during his career, didn't really put on too much size, but in comparison to what he was, there was no presence there really. Um, so yeah, he was very raw. Didn't really instill a lot of confidence into the defense, and obviously he came into a Man United defense with the likes of Rio Vidic, Evra, and I believe it might have been Wes Brown at right back. And again, yeah, when David De Gea was there, never did I see him. I didn't think English football suited him in terms of being able to command his box, and I think yeah, he just kind of just found himself in the end. And I think in terms of shot stopping, he's one of the best shot stoppers the Premier League has seen for sure. His reflexes as well, ridiculous. Ball at his feet, he wasn't the greatest. David De Gea, he wasn't a typical modern day goalkeeper. Um, but in terms of his shot stopping, what he's won for United, his longevity as well, which comes into question. I think David De Gea, for me, definitely is one of the best goalkeepers of the Premier League era. And I think in that when David De Gea was in his prime as well, for me he was one of the best goalkeepers in the world, easily. He was that good. I think towards the end of his career, it wasn't great for David De Gea because I think he, again, the modern day goalkeeper, he wasn't really that. And again, he was making a few mistakes. But in terms of the services given to United and what United currently have at the moment, United could have done a lot worse, than not them moving him on, I would say. But yeah, definitely deserves to be in this list. And again, had a great career for United. I think the only blemish really for David De Gea is that him playing for Man United, you probably would have expected him to play a lot more for Spain. But obviously, Spain again with the modern day goalkeepers, you got Unai Simon, who's the number one at the moment, and even when the likes of I think Iker Casillas was in goal, David De Gea still wasn't obviously a regular for Spain, and then Unai Simon now being a modern day goalkeeper has been basically number one for a little while now, and I think David Raya was sneaking ahead of De Gea as well. And obviously David De Gea is not even in the squad no more, so I think Kepa might have even had a stint ahead of De Gea as well. So it just shows you right now how important the modern day goalkeeper in terms of playing with their feet is in this era. And but yeah, for sure, David De Gea had a great career at Man United, and at Atletico as well, where he made his name. And obviously now just winding down his career. I think he's at Fiorentina, I believe. But yeah, definitely deserves to be in this list for me. And then we got Edwin van der Sar. Again, Edwin van der Sar, formerly of Juventus as well, Dutch international. Um, Obviously was at Fulham as well, and then United obviously snapped him up from Fulham. For me, Van der Sar I think Van der Sar again, another goalkeeper that was underrated. Obviously Van der Sar was the keeper behind, obviously before De Gea come in. It was Van der Sar, and this is when I think it was Rio. I think it was Rio. It might have been Rio. I think it was Rio and Vidic. Was I think it was Van der Sar, Rio, Vidic, Evra. I think, and then obviously when Van der Sar was coming to the end, um, obviously that's when De Gea came through. But Van der Sar for me was a great goalkeeper. I think the best thing about Van der Sar was his calm nature. Um, Big up, reluctant gamer. What you saying, bro? Just doing the goalkeepers. Just on my last two now. So yeah, if you get a chance, man, give that a check back. On my list. So I'm just on Edwin van der Sar at the moment. So yeah, for me, yeah, van der Sar was a big presence, but I think the main thing for me was his calmness. Van der Sar was never, flustered. I would say he was never like in a rush. In terms of being panicky at the back, and again that instills a lot of confidence to your defense. And I think that was the biggest attribute he had. He never looked like he was in trouble. Even when a team went behind, or he made a mistake, he always remained composed. And I think that's a sign of a great goalkeeper for me. And another goalkeeper that's won a lot in his career, was a regular Dutch international as well. And yeah, just like I suppose like De Gea, a good shot stopper, not someone that was great with the ball at his feet, but again, he was in an era where being a ball playing goalkeeper wasn't really a necessity, and yeah, he played his part in success for Man United, obviously under Sir Alex Ferguson, and again another goalkeeper that for me easily makes the list. Um, yeah, so I've got Van der Sar in there, and then my last one is and it's not going to be a surprise, and that's Peter Schmeichel. Um, I actually remember meeting Peter Schmeichel face to face when I went to Old Trafford to go and watch the team train. And Peter, I always remember Peter Schmeichel was a miserable guy, man. Someone that you didn't really you know in terms of first impressions. You know, you're not someone that you really think, you know, is a nice person kind of thing. But as a goalkeeper, what a keeper he was. You know, presence, shot stopping, reflexes, leader. You know what I mean? Was part of obviously the '99 team as well that won the Champions League. You know, multiple leagues as well. And yeah, Peter Schmeichel for me was especially in that era as well, where you had some real bad boy strikers. You know, and you know, obviously Peter Schmeichel had a lot of wars with Ian Wright as well. Obviously, Man United Arsenal rivalry. But yeah, he was everything a goalkeeper in that modern era should have had. You know, I think there was no weakness. Again, he wasn't a ball playing goalkeeper because it was a different era then. But in terms of his again, his composure, you know, he's just general goalkeeping. Yeah, he was a top level Peter Schmeichel. And again, this is a tough list, and it's going to be quite hard to pick someone, but he's going to be up there for sure as the top one of the top three. So yeah, that's what I'm going to say. And the outsiders I've gone for, you know, Pepe Reina of Liverpool, again Champions League winner. Pepe Reina was very good, obviously coming from Barcelona. I don't put him in the list that I've got here because this list there is quite tough to get into. But I think he does deserve a mention, as does Emiliano Martinez. You know, I think Martinez is more recent, but I do think currently Martinez is one of the best goalkeepers in the world. But I think it's a bit too soon to put them in this list. I think Martinez, for me, would need to be doing it for the next couple of seasons. You know, if he can continue his performance levels for the next couple of years, you know, and help Aston Villa as well to you know, even, I'm not saying Aston Villa are going to win the Premier League, but if he could help Aston Villa, you know, go higher in the league, and obviously in the Champions League regular, then you know he could be in that list for sure. Obviously he's a World Cup winner, you know, and obviously he's going to have that confidence, but just for now he's going to be a bit of an outsider. Big up Reluctant Gamer. So get Reluctant Gamer says Schmeichel 1, Cech 2, Van der Sar 3. You know what? It's funny you saying that because it's quite a similar one to me. And but yeah, obviously I'll let you know now. So guys, just going through the list again. So the best goalkeepers of the Premier League era. So you've got Allisson, you've got David Seaman, Jens Lehmann of Arsenal, Petr Cech, Thibaut Courtois, Ederson, Peter Schmeichel, Edwin van der Sar, and David De Gea. So who I'm going to go for as the best goalkeeper of the Premier League era. So I'm going to narrow it down. So I'm going to narrow it down to... So if we take out David Seaman, Jens Lehmann, and Ederson for me. So I think, again, all three of those keepers are great keepers. But I think this list is so hard. I think it's only right that we narrow it down to, you know, to the final three. So Seaman, Lehmann, and Ederson are gone, which means, again, this is tough. I'm gonna just take out David De Gea as well. Again, David De Gea, great goalkeeper, but he just misses it for me. Which leaves... It's tough, man. It's tough because this list is difficult. For me, I'm going to take out Thibaut Courtois as well. And that's not because Courtois isn't worthy of being in this list. It's because I think if Courtois probably had a bit more longer in the Premiership, I believe, you know, you're talking about probably the number one, I would probably say, you know. So I'll take him out. So it leaves, again, so Reluctant Gamer's list is very similar to mine. So it's between Van der Sar, Schmeichel, Cech, and Allisson. And again, I'm going to take Allisson out as well because maybe if he can do it for another couple of seasons and win some league titles more with Liverpool. So yeah, the list is very similar to Reluctant Gamers. Van der Sar, Schmeichel, and Petr Cech. And I'm gonna go with the order that he said. Peter Schmeichel, Petr Cech, and Edwin van der Sar. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that because for me, just because of Peter Schmeichel, you know what he gave to Man United in that era. Even though he's a miserable guy, you know, but I think in terms of a goalkeeper, man, yeah, he had everything, and yeah, he thoroughly deserves to be the best goalkeeper of the Premier League era. But again, this can be anyone, you know. It could be anyone really. There's no really order for me because I think these are all top goalkeepers. But I think Peter Schmeichel for sure stands out as the one, and yeah, he wins it for me, man, for sure. So, but yeah, guys, big up for coming on. As I said, big up Reluctant Gamer again for coming on, bro. Yeah, only a quick stream today, just the goalkeepers. You know, it's not really an enjoyable one for me, I would say. Bit boring, but as I said, you know, we had to do this, and yeah, guys. So Peter Schmeichel, best goalkeeper of the Premier League era. Again, if you guys think, you know, there should be other keepers in this list, or you think it should be someone else, then by all means put that in the chat. But so yeah, gonna be live tomorrow around the same time. Next position tomorrow is the final one, and it's gonna be strikers, so the best striker of the Premier League era. Again, it's gonna be a majority vote, I think, but I think it's still good to pay homage to some of the players that will be in the list. And again, this list is going to be very extensive, you know. So yeah, tomorrow, I will be live tomorrow, probably around the same time, 12 o'clock. So it will be strikers. Big up to Adorma. Adorma says Yamal was the best, 100% in this era of football for me. Lamine Yamal is number one for me for sure. I think he is someone that is keeping football alive, and if he stays injury free, and again he is going to stay at Barcelona because Barcelona are not going to let a player like that go. This is a guy that's going to be dominating the Ballon d'Or for years to come for me. You know, I look at it now, and in terms of his age and his quality, I don't really see too many players that are going to compete with him in terms of ability for that Ballon d'Or. You know, I would say now, if I'm looking around in world football, players that can compete with him ability wise, you're looking at Vinicius Junior, Rodrigo from Real Madrid. I like Arda Güler as well, but Arda Güler is not getting enough game time, so he might have to move on. Do you know what? Big up to Adorna, because you've mentioned one name there, yeah. And again, I've mentioned him before. So Ansu Fati. I'm hoping and I'm praying Ansu Fati stays clear of injury, and he rediscovers his form. You know, I'm hoping, you know, Barcelona and Hansi Flick can, you know, restore Ansu Fati back to the lineup. I don't know how that's going to happen, but I'm just hoping he can do that, because if many people that probably that not aware of this, but Ansu Fati is what Lamine Yamal is meant to be right now, you know, and injuries have killed him. You know, obviously he went to Brighton on loan, but I'm hoping Ansu Fati, you know, I would love Ansu Fati to come to Man United, if it doesn't work out at Barcelona. But I just hope Ansu Fati can, you know, stay injury clear, and Hansi Flick, you know, can place his trust in him, and he gets some game time. Um, I don't know if he's going to get game time towards the end of the season now, because, you know, there's players ahead of him. Obviously Rafinha and obviously Ferran Torres and Dani Olmo that can all play in them positions. But I'm hoping that Ansu Fati can, yeah, I hope he can just restore his the confidence of Hansi Flick. You know, because I do think he has got the potential to be as good as a Lamine Yamal, but obviously his career's stagnated a bit. But yeah, big up. So yeah, just going back to what I was saying. So for me, players that can compete with Lamine Yamal, if we're talking about his own team, I would say Pedri. And again, I'm gonna continue saying Ansu Fati. I do think he can get to that level. So Pedri, Ansu Fati for me, Real Madrid, Vinicius Junior and Rodrigo. If I'm saying, so I think that's it for La Liga. If I'm saying in Italy, there ain't no one there for me really in terms of the age profile that can compete with Lamine Yamal. If I go to Germany, Florian Wirtz for me can be in that bracket as well. You could put Jamal Musiala in there as well. So yeah, I'll say Wirtz and Musiala in terms of that round about a similar age. And then if you look at in England, I'm gonna say Amad Diallo. I think Amad Diallo can reach that level. This might be a bit of a surprise, but I'm gonna stick my neck out and say Joshua Zirkzee as well. You know, I know Joshua Zirkzee for me in terms of his ability, there's no question. It's just whether he gets the patience from Man United. But I'm gonna say him as well. Who else we got there in England? Trying to think. Is anyone at Man City of that age? Savinho, not too sure. Liverpool, there's no one there really. Chelsea, Cole Palmer, William Esteval, you know, could have a chance as well. I would like it to be Sancho, but I'm not sure. That's a question mark there. Not because of his ability, but again, I'm not sure if he can be given the chance. Arsenal, I like Ethan Nwaneri, so I think Nwaneri might have a chance. I think he'll have a chance as well. So again, I think in terms of players that can compete, you know, I'm not saying directly the same age as Lamine Yamal, but players that are around that similar age, you know, from, I would say from 20 to 25 and younger, you know, probably a bit less than that. I think they're the players that can compete with Lamine Yamal for sure for the Ballon d'Or. But for me, Lamine Yamal is going to be dominating it if he stays healthy, because to be doing what he's doing at that age, you know, is mad. And again, if you're a Barcelona fan, there is a player as well called Noah Darvic, who I'm surprised hasn't come through, but I think he was touted very highly as well, and he looks very good. But again, Barcelona have players coming through their youth system, you know. There's one, I remember, I think it was Rising Ballers, I think it might have been. And I think there was another young kid that they've got in their youth who they're saying is actually the next Lamine Yamal. If anyone knows who the name is, make sure you put it in the chat, because I see a couple of clips of him, and this guy looks I think he's like, I want to say he's like 13 and he's that good from what I'm seeing. So he might even be a bit younger. But yeah, I think Lamine Yamal for sure, man, is going to be dominating, and it's going to be down to a lot of these other players that I've mentioned to kind of, you know, be in the reckoning really. But I think Lamine Yamal, Pedri for sure at Barcelona, they're going to be the future of the club, and the future for the Ballon d'Or, in my opinion. But yeah, guys, big up for your questions. Big up Daniela Iacona as well, for coming on. Big up Adorma. Big up Lacquasera Mo. Yeah, big up, man. Big up, obviously, Reluctant Gamer all the time as well. Yeah, one player you can have will be Yamal for sure, man. He's unreal, Yamal. I'm a massive fan of Pedri as well. Pedri for me, how highly I rate Pedri. Pedri is basically the reincarnation of Andres Iniesta. I think he's the closest player I've seen to Iniesta, and I was a massive fan of Iniesta. I think for me, Iniesta was the Messi of his position. You know, I think the only thing that stopped Iniesta is he didn't have the numbers of a Messi, but in terms of his actual ability, for me, he's the Messi of his position. So, yeah, I think if Pedri can reach Iniesta's level and keep going the way he is, you're gonna have one of the best players in the world and a Ballon d'Or in this era for sure. Adorma says, who will win the World Cup? For me, World Cup is always between, and the reason I'm saying this is because I look at the overall quality of the squads, and for me, you're looking at France always have to be in there, even though I think, France have dropped off in terms of quality, in terms of overall quality, but France have to be in there. Spain obviously will be in there. Um, you can never rule out Brazil, even though it's not the Brazil of before. Um, Argentina, obviously the holders, you know. So yeah, if I'm saying, obviously, you know what, I don't think it would be good to see an African team, get into the latter stages, the semis or whatever. But we're not sure about that yet. But it would be good to see that. But I think in terms of the favourites, you have to look at a Brazil, Argentina, Spain, France. For me, they're the four. You got your Germanys as well. You got Portugal's. England will be obviously talked about as well. But yeah, them four for me for sure. But big up for your question. Go for the question before we wrap. So Dark Matrix, big up, says, where are you from? So I'm from the UK. Adorma says Argentina will win World Cup this time. Do you know what? If Messi was to win another World Cup, I mean, that would be mad. But I don't think they will, because I think Messi, as great as he is, I think he's no longer at the peak of his powers. He can still influence games, but Messi's just, he's just seeing out his career now, because his career it's probably been one of the best careers anyone can ever ask for. And for Argentina to win the World Cup, you're gonna need a Messi, at the peak of his powers. And I think at the moment now he's just seeing out his career. I couldn't really tell you who's gonna win the World Cup, because I think there's a few teams there that will fancy their chances. But what I will say, in terms of, I mean, Portugal's squad is stacked, but Portugal always flatter to deceive. Um, Holland as well, they deserve a mention. Um, yeah, so I couldn't really tell you. Enzo Fernandez is overrated. Yeah, I don't think he's overrated or underrated. I just think, he's just a good player. You know what I mean? I think in today's football, it's quite hard to find a position for him, because Chelsea are playing him as a 10 so at times, which he's not. And I think if you're playing him as a deep lying playmaker, he's probably not as mobile as you need in that position. And then obviously, if they're playing a number 10, he needs he can't play as a deep line, really. So he's actually a proper central midfielder, but in different systems, obviously, if you're playing a 4-2-3-1, that position there is not really a central midfielder. I would think, because I think you need to be a bit more mobile, So, but as a footballer, he's a very good footballer. But I think that for the hype that he was probably given, he hasn't lived up to it, I would say. Because remember, this is a guy that uh, when he won the World Cup, how old was he? I think he might have been, what, 20? I think he might have been 2021. And obviously he won the best young player in the tournament as well in that World Cup. So, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But guys, big up for coming on. As I said, big up for your questions in the chat. As I said, just done goalkeepers of the Premier League era, where Peter Schmeichel comes out on top. And before I wrap, actually, guys, I bumped into if anyone remembers Man United legend Paul Parker. I see him yesterday, Paul Parker. I had a good conversation with him. Didn't actually realize that he lived next, very very close to me. But if you're an older fan and you was in the era of the Peter Schmeichels, as I said, I bumped into Paul Parker yesterday. So Man United right back, England right back. So yeah, I was chatting to him for about half an hour, just about football, and obviously he still does work with Man United now. And yeah, we had a good conversation, man, to be honest. Like, he was a lot of the views that he has on a lot of the players is very similar to what I have, um, he said he wasn't a big fan of Joshua Zirkzee, which, to be fair, I was surprised. And I said to him, nah, Zirkzee will come good for me. I do think he's got a lot about his game. But he agreed with me on the likes of Garnacho, not good enough. Rasmus Højlund, not good enough. Bruno Fernandes, not good enough. And again, someone we spoke about was Jude Bellingham, and I thought he would have had a difference of opinion to me about Jude Bellingham, but he actually agreed with me that Jude Bellingham's overrated and he ain't good enough. And even with the passion merchant antics that Bellingham does, he actually agreed. You know what I mean? And as I said, yeah, he had a lot of similar opinions to me, man. So yeah, big up Paul Parker, man. As I said, I didn't realize he lives next to me. So hopefully I'll bump into him too again. And I think he actually said he actually goes down to Manchester still, and he obviously has got a lot of dealings with the club still on the media side. But yeah, good conversation, man. So as I said, I'm gonna make sure I catch up with him again and just talk football, man. As I said, I love talking football. I could do this all day, really, but obviously life gets in the way. So but yeah, it's good coming on. As I said, guys, big up you guys for coming on. The channel is growing. I reached 900 subscribers yesterday, obviously on the road to 1K. So obviously gonna try and hit I want to try and hit 1K. So I want to try and hit 1K. What are we in now? We're in I want to try and aim hit 1K by the middle of April. If I could do it before then that would be great. But my target to get another 100 subscribers and hit that 1K mark by the middle of April. So as I said, guys, big up for coming on. Make sure you smash that like button if you haven't done already. It's just one touch of the button. Obviously, it helps the channel to reach more people. And again, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe to my channel. And guys, check out my other content as well. So again, for the whole international break, I've been doing a breakdown of the best players in their position in the Premier League era. And obviously now we've got one more position tomorrow, which is going to be the strikers. Again, I expect this to be a massive list. I think this might be, in fact, the biggest list that I've done out of all the positions. So it's going to be interesting. So yeah, if you guys do enjoy the content, then as I said, make sure you tune in tomorrow at 12 o'clock again, where I'm going to be live. And as I said, make sure you give your comments and your questions, and whether it's in the live chat or whether that's at the end of the stream. So yeah, guys, big up for coming on. As I said, big up to Daniela for coming on. Big up to my mods as well, Reluctant Gamer, each and every time for coming on. And big up to, obviously, if you're a newcomer, for coming onto the stream as well. And as I said, smash that like button, subscribe to my channel. Tune in tomorrow, guys. I'm going to be back at 12 o'clock. Put your notifications on, and I'm going to catch you guys tomorrow. Take it easy.